We are now joined by Sporting Director and Head Coach Bobby Smyrniotis. If you have any questions, please use the raise hand icon and I'll be sure to get to you. The first question can go to Joseph.
Hi, Bobby. How is the team feeling physically and emotionally for this upcoming game?
Yeah, I think physically we're in a very good spot. We've had a good week of training. Like I said, these first weeks after a long period of a lot of games is a little bit of a transition period. And I think, we're surpassing that. And, the spirits in the team are good. We know there's a big challenge in front of us tomorrow, always with each and every game you play in this league. And, you look at Halifax and they're a team that's, playing for their playoff spot, playing in front of their crowd. And, on our end, we've had a good trajectory over the last, 6 weeks in what we're doing. And now it's about going out and executing and keeping up with what we've had the last few weeks.
Any updates on the injury players? And thank you for bringing Benitez back. Good player.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, on the injury front, we'll be without Taron Campbell for this game, just as a minor knock. That obviously you always got to be careful about. And yeah, other than that, it's as most know, today is roster freeze deadline. So, we wanted to look at a couple of things that we can add some depth and quality to the squad.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right. Next question, Gautam.
Yes, thank you so much. This is Gautam from the Canadian Premier League. You've just signed 4 players from League One Ontario. The news came in this morning. Now, how important is it to give exposure at the top flight level, to players from local leagues, firstly? And how important is it that they meet the standards required by Forge FC? Because you guys are currently on top of the table.
Yeah, a couple of things. It's always important to have these younger players in the environment, whether they're in this development contracts, training players. So all these players have been within our environment over this season, whether it's been recently or before, just to making sure that we're bringing them up to speed on what the level looks like beyond. And these are some young, promising players, young, talented players, and I think it's very important. But what's important is also to make sure that they have the touch points throughout the season. That's not something you're just looking to do at the end of the year, because we want to be able to see the progress of these players. And we've done that over the years, no different than guys who are currently fully embedded in our squad, like Malcolm Duncan, Noah Jensen, Chris Kalongo. These guys were similar players to these younger guys many years ago as training players, kind of development type of players, and now fully integrated in the squad many years later.
Okay, I have a follow-up question. So you're obviously co-founder, I believe, of Sigma FC as well in League One Ontario, which is home to Kai Larin, firstly. And secondly, you had 2 players from the MLS leave, for Europe this summer, Moise Bombito and Derek Cornelius, 2 Canadian defenders, very talented players. How long before players from the CanPL make the move over to Europe and improve the quality of Canadian players globally, like Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David have?
Yeah, well, it's happening. It's we're only, I think, 3 weeks removed from the biggest transfer in the CPL, which was Kwesi Poku from our club over into Belgium. So I think it's happening, and it's everyone wants more and more, but it's always steps in building. And I think as the next couple of transfer periods come forward, you'll see more and more players from this league move on, and then it's up to them to continue their development and continue their challenge. But the one thing I know is in Canada we have a lot of players. We have a lot of quality players. There's a belief in the players, and some develop early, some develop later, and some get on the track to where they are in professional football later. Moise Bombito is a good example of that, and we've seen that in the past with many players. So there's no linear way to do it, but with the CPL right now, it's a great step in what's been built over 6 years for players to be professionals, to be day in, day out professionals. And we see that with Kwesi Poku. He started with us as a very young 19-year-old, and here he is moving over to Europe, and I think the sky's the limit for him, and there'll be more players like him.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Any final questions?
Bobby, any thoughts on the playoff system for this year?
Yeah, playoff system, from what we know, is similar to in the past, and like I've said in the past from year one, because for 5 years we had different playoff systems. I'm not too interested in what the playoff system is. I just like to know it at the beginning of the year, so I know how to plan myself and give ourselves the best chance of playing for a championship. We've been blessed up until today that there's been 5 championship games, and we've been part of all of them, and we want to try and continue that. So the playoff system for me can change, can be the same. I always say, as long as the path is clear to us as a club at the beginning of the year, we'll find the way to get there.
Good luck, and we hope to add another 3 more points.
Thank you.
Gautam, do you have one more question?
Yeah, for a final question. So you've got, I think, 10 games left this season in the regular season before the playoffs kick in. How confident are you that you can maintain or stave off the challenge from Atletico Ottawa and York United, who are, I believe, your competitors this time, and go all the way once again like you did last season?
Yeah, the league is always unique, because every week there's always a lot of things changing, with the teams playing each other so many times over the season. Everything really counts. Now we're in the last stretch of final games each against each other, so things are a little bit more clear. The big thing I always talk about is not so much on focusing on the end, but what you have in front of you, because you're only as good as the 3 points you have in front of you, and that makes you feel better about what you're doing in the following week. So this league is a roller coaster, and a lot of things happen. We need to stay focused. The most important thing is we've been playing some excellent football. We've had excellent results, and we just need to stay disciplined at that. And if we keep our concentration levels high, then I think we're in a good spot.